Hi, I'm Lucy, and if you live in DeKalb County, Georgia, we seem to be having a little bit of a water crisis right now. So all our water is labeled as contaminated. Now, please understand this is the U.S. The contamination level is not as dangerous as it could be elsewhere. But I did live for about a year without water that could have been safe to drink or use. So we had to learn how to deal with this. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that we learned to survive the water scare. First thing, you'll need a big pot. You'll need two of these. You'll also need a big bowl. You can go with one, but two would be best to have. You'll also need, depending on the size of your family, a pitcher or two pitchers for water. And you will need a cup that will become your ladle, basically, for the duration of the water shortage. Just a few notes. When it comes to using water that's contaminated, it's all about conservation. Not just conserving the water, but conserving your time. So you want to use that water as much as possible to get things done. So may I suggest that, and you'll see during this video, that you can use the water for more than one task. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you do is you take those two pots and you fill them up completely with water as much as you can, and you boil them on your stove. After the water starts boiling, boil for about 3 more minutes to remove any other dangerous materials. After you do that, this water is now good for using. I would suggest turning off the stove, but keeping one of the pots on the eyelet that you turned off, because that way it will stay warmer longer. And the good news is this pot of water will stay hot almost till tomorrow. And there's some science why water holds heat so well, but that's an advantage for you. So just in case late at night you need hot water to use it for something. Now, the next thing you need to do is talk about conserving time. When you use this water, you'll use it for something else and something else and something else. Now that you have hot water, your primary concern, just like on a desert, is drinking water. So fill up your pitcher with the hot water and immediately put it in your refrigerator. That is going to be used to drink with. That is also going to be used to brush your teeth, because a lot of your kids aren't going to listen and they will not spit out contaminated water. So just to avoid all that nonsense, you can also use it for that, and you can use it for cooking. If you must fill up 2 containers because you really want to make sure you have enough drinking water, then put another pot back on to boil and wait a little while, and you can follow the rest of the video. Now, the rest of the video is about cleaning. Your dishes are still going to need to be done. You can't use your dishwasher because the dishwasher water does not reach a temperature which will eliminate most bacteria and stuff that seeps in when you have contaminated water. So you're going to take that hot water and use it for this. But the problem is that hot water is really hot. So you'll have to take the lid off of that hot water that's not boiling or still heating and let it cool down. That's the water you just used to fill up your drinking containers. Let it cool for about an hour, and that should be manageable. If it's not, 2 will also work. Now you will need your plastic bowl and all of your dishes. You've gone around the house, find every single dish because you don't want to repeat this activity. Sort them by size and dirt level while the water's cooling down. And if you know it's going to be hard to wash because there's sticky stuff or stuff, put the contaminated water in that and let it soak. So now you're ready to wash your dishes, but we're not going to wash dishes first. You're going to get that empty plastic bowl and you're going to gather every piece of fruit and vegetable you're going to need for possibly the next 2 or 3 days. Because if you just bought this from the store, the water advisory kicked in and this is still dirty. So you need to wash this, but conserve water when you're washing it. So you're going to take this and clean this first. But all the water you use to clean this vegetable will go into the basin that you use to wash your dishes. So you'll conserve a lot of water that way. You'll take your little ladle and you'll scoop some water from the teapot and pour it over your vegetable, rub it off. Don't use a lot of water. Wash off all your fruits and vegetables all at once and put them to the side. And all that water you dripped on the fruit or vegetable will go into this basin And this will hold your washing dishes water. Now, by the time you're done, you might have a quarter to almost a half of the bowl filled. And the water may not be hot enough for you to wash dishes. So then you'll ladle from your other pot that's still on the stove with the top on, still hot. Ladle that carefully into the water bowl. It'll take about 2 or 3 of these to get the temperature you like. If you need more, you can do that. Now, you now have a basin ready to wash your dishes. Instead of wasting bubbles, pouring it in the water, it's a waste of time, do that and put it in the rag. You'll use up more dish soap than normal just to make sure you kill off all bacteria. Wash off all your dishes. Don't worry about rinsing them. Once you've washed everything off and you put it to the side, this soap bucket can go to the side as well because you're done with it. Now you'll get your other bowl and you'll pour the rest of that tepid water, because that pot's almost empty now. Pour the rest of the tepid water in. The rinse water does not need to be as hot as the wash water. So you'll only need probably about 1.5 of these scoops into the rinse water to get it a little warm. And you'll dip your dishes in the rinse water to rinse them off, set them to the side to dry. Anything that's misshapen or oblong and larger than the bowl, you'll just use this cup to pour generously over and make sure all the water goes back into the bin. You now have clean dishes. You can dry them, put them away, and you can use the rinse and the soap water to clean off your countertops. So use the rag, put it in the soapy water, wipe off all your surfaces, and then go back and put this into the rinse water and wipe off all your surfaces. Now, I told you this is about conservation, and if you're like me, there are other parts of your house that you want to clean, but you don't want to use contaminated water. You can now get a bucket and pour both the soapy and rinse water in there and wipe off those surfaces as well. I'm telling you, we did this for a year. We were like machines when it came to conserving water. And I'm glad I can give you this little tip to benefit. So all of that was from 2 pots of water, possibly 3 if you filled the drinking pitcher up, filled up 2 of those. You now are ready to go for your day. You probably maybe have to do this whole thing once a day, and it conserves your time, and it conserves your water, and you survive without going broke buying gallons and gallons of water. That's expensive. So hopefully the water advisory will go away soon and we can go back to drinking water. But in the meantime, you guys have a way of surviving the water apocalypse of 2015. All right. Thank you.